What's up, guys? I am back from the plane ride to Budds Creek and then the plane ride back and the stay. I got to see 2 qualifying sessions and then I was asked to leave, but I'll get into that later. But how about Hayden Deegan? Hayden Deegan is champion. He wrapped it up with that dominant performance in the first moto. Levi Kitchens on a roll. That's a couple in a row. He is going to be tough heading into SMX. I'm going to break down the 250s at Budds Creek, and then I'm going to get into some of the reasons that my incident happened. I have some different points of views. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I'll break those all down for you. But if you're not into that stuff, you don't want to hear it, just turn it off after the 250s are over. If you guys want to help me in this battle against these scumbags, please join the membership. They are doing everything they can to blackball me. I'm not going anywhere. I am doubling down, tripling down. I am going to tell things. The truth always wins in the end, and that's what I have on my side. I want to thank Coach Rob, Complete Racing Solutions. If you're busy and you want to do an express workout, he's got programs for you. He's got programs for everybody. So head over to CompleteRacingSolutions.com and check out Coach Rob. Epic garage designs. Travis Ogburn has the coolest garage designs you'll ever see. From flooring to cabinets to slat wall, they're works of art. Check out epicgaragedesigns.com and Travis will get you dialed in. And you guys saw my buddy Chris, who I was with at Budds Creek. He was also ejected, even though he did nothing wrong. He was just happened to be with me. He's guilty by association. He did get the tickets, so it is what it is. But I thank him so much. He is so good to me. He's such a good dude, and it's a shame that it went the way it went. But Chris is one of those ride or die guys. He's just awesome. So check out Ride Strapped if you want to fight against the establishment. Chris is all in, and I was bummed that we had to leave the race. I'm like, dude, you got to leave because of me. And he's like, dude, don't even worry about it. I know it's not you. We're all good. So, yeah, make sure you let Chris know what a badass he is. Precision Transport. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport, a family-owned company. They have not forgot about customer service. And a lot of people in the shipping industry have. And they also have really reasonable pricing. A lot of you guys have used them, and a lot of you guys have told me how great the experience was. So if you're shipping anything, use pretransport.com.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So Hayden Deegan got his outdoor championship. I count last year as his first major championship. When you win that SMX, like I said, I think that's going to be one of the premier championships in this sport is the SMX. And he's already got one of those. He's the only one with one of those, and he's going to go for another one. He's going to try and back it up. But he got in his sophomore season, he's the outdoor 250 champion. He went out there and practiced, and he was just all business. He went out in that first moto and was gone. I mean, he flat out he left him, even crashed, got up, still had like a 10-second lead after he crashed. Hayden Deegan is something special to this sport. We've never had anyone come in with the PR machine and the social following and the people that he brings to this sport. Hayden Deegan, rarely do you say someone is bigger than the sport. Hayden Deegan has got to that point where he is bigger than this sport. He could make some serious changes if he wanted to this sport. If he wants to pay attention to if there's a guy right now who could stand up and make these people get the proper flaggers, get different lights, it's Hayden Deegan. And I hope he doesn't have to. That's his choice. But I would love it if he took this role because he has so much power right now and kind of make the sport better for everybody. It's a once-in-a-lifetime type opportunity. The only person I've ever seen get this much hype was when James Stewart came in because he was breaking down the race barrier. And yes, when James Stewart came in, there was a lot of racism in this sport. It was still a white sport. James ripped that down. I mean, I remember being at the San Diego Supercross in the crowd and hearing people using the N-word during opening ceremonies. I'm like, whoa, it was gnarly. And that was like in 2004. Even I remember Phoenix when his rookie season, I remember these people going, oh no, are they going to take over the sport? Yeah, listen, we've moved past it, and I don't think the sport is very racist anymore, but it was, and that's why Stewart was so important. And I don't know if he gets enough credit for that because we don't really want to talk about race, but when James Stewart came in, there was a lot of racism. But that's the only guy who's got the mainstream media and the following that like Hayden Deegan does. But now, in addition to that, Hayden Deegan's not all just hype and PR. A lot of times you get these athletes that come in, they're prodigies, and they don't have that dog in them. Hayden Deegan is something special. He looks like Carmichael out there, the way he charges and just goes for it. And this dude wants to win as much as he wants to breathe, and it's apparent.
Yeah, Supercross, it was a little unfortunate. I ended up breaking my wrist literally freaking like 4 weeks before the first round, and I had to get it fixed, obviously. And I got a ride like maybe 1 week or whatever before the first round. So I mean, honestly, to win the second round after crashing the first round too, to win that second round, that was unreal. I was like, I can't believe I did it, because I mean, I don't have much training under my belt at all. So
The only thing I would tell Hayden Deegan is, man, you shouldn't have had the wrist injury at the first of the year. It looked stupid. It didn't do anything. I mean, honestly, we all knew you were hurt. We knew what it was. We were real close. And by just ignoring it, I don't know if that was a mental thing on his part. I wish he would just say, hey, yeah, my wrist is hurt, and then not talk about it again and try and just move on forward. And if he just acknowledged, yeah, I broke my wrist, put a screw in it, I'm good to go, I don't want to talk about it, the media members will stop asking him. If he says, don't ask me about it, I don't want to talk about that, I don't want that in my forefront of my mind, they would. But if he addressed it first, it would work. How about Levi Kitchen? He's got a few wins in a row now. This guy's really cranking. I mean, he looked fatigued, and then, in that first moto, he faded back. I guess he's sick. And I'm wondering if this illness is because he is so run down and his immune system shot. Is he going to be able to recover for SMX? Or is he still going to be kind of like this where he kind of fades? I don't know. But I hope he gets the rest. And, I mean, the kid's got talent. And the way he sucked it up in that second moto and took the win, that took heart. That was all grit. He was tired. He was probably feeling crappy. But he's like, I've got the lead. I've got the overall. I'm not giving this thing up. Good for Levi Kitchen. He's had not the season he wanted, but he is. You cannot say he hasn't had a good season so far. What's that? 3 wins, and he's ran up front a lot, and that's coming into it after that heartbreaking Supercross championship loss where his own teammate took him out. So his first year on the Kawasaki has been a smashing success. Not as good as it could have been, but it's still, I don't know how you wouldn't consider it a complete win by him and the team so far. Tom Vial, on the other hand, he got his Supercross title. He's the 2-time MX2 champion, which is all outdoor stuff in Europe. I expected more. He has looked soft. I don't know if he's tired or what. He does not have that fight that Chance Hymas has, that Hayden Deegan has, that Levi Kitchen had in that second moto. He's not willing to just go out and just hammer it. He just doesn't have that dog in him like they do, and I don't think that he's going to be able to compete with those guys until he can find that. Supercross is a little different. It was a little more technical, but he was still only good on tracks without whoops. I don't know that he's a phenom like some of these other guys, and I think he might get passed up by a Chance Hymas, a Drew Adams. I can't wait to see what Drew does. But there's a lot of guys with that talent and the dog that could pass Tom Vial. I mean, he came in here with some extreme talent, but he has got to find some more toughness. Speaking of toughness, Chance Hymas. This kid is really coming into his own. And next season, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Somebody's car alarm going off. But the crashes that he's taken the last few weeks, and he just keeps fighting through it and battling. And a lot of people would quit and mail it in at that point. Not Chance Hymas. Chance Hymas is fighting through and showing the grit, the dog, the determination to be a top guy. And how about Jalek Swoll consistently being up there on the Triumph? I do feel bad for his teammate, Joey Savacci. He's been running up there, and it seems like his bike breaks like twice as much as Jalek Swoll. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's riding style or what, but Jalek Swoll is really looking good and just consistently being up front. Julien Beaumer, he had a career day. This is a Supercross specialist. This is a guy who outdoors is not his jam, but he's learning it and he's fighting through it. And to see him this late in the season still learning and charging, good for Julien Beaumer. I'm excited to see what he does in Supercross next year. Next year, I look for him to be a Supercross podium guy. RJ Hampshire came back from his wrist injury. The same wrist injury, might I add, that Hayden Deegan suffered. It took RJ a lot longer to heal. No two bodies are the same. And RJ's a lot older. I mean, you're talking almost 10 years older than Hayden Deegan. So yeah, the healing time won't be exactly the same. They put the double-sided screw in there. But RJ's smart. He's out there. He's battling. He's getting back in the rhythm. And when SMX comes around, I look for RJ to be right there. Now, I'm sure all of you guys saw me get kicked out at Budds Creek. Let me explain to you why they have so much visceral hate towards me. For the longest time, MX Sports and Davey Coombs, up until about 5 or 7 years ago, they played this card like, oh, the series is about to fold. We just do it. I make money off Racer X magazine. I just do this because I love this sport. And this whole dog and pony show about, and he goes out there and he hammers stakes like he's too broke to hire anyone to do it. And it's a good look. I'm not going to lie. Davey Coombs has pulled off that folksy West Virginia, I'm just doing it because I love it. Meanwhile, he is raking the cash in. And that's where people get it confused. I'm not saying you shouldn't rake the cash in. What I don't like is the fleecing, the controlling of the media, the freaking out when I point out the contracts are so beneficial towards MX Sports, yet they're having volunteer flaggers. Those are the things, and I think they're genuinely so mad that they've worked so long to cultivate this fake atmosphere that they do so much for the sport. Well, they pat each other on the back and give each other lifetime achievement awards for hanging out and doing a job where racers come in and pay significant amounts of money to perform for these guys while they're raking in upwards of 7 figures a weekend for MX Sports. That's the problem I have. It's the dishonesty in the way that they present themselves, and the fact that Davey Coombs controls the media and the way they silence the media. You've seen what's happened to me. When I worked for Western Power Sports, there was a lot of back channeling. They messed with me. And I've left the industry so I can have my free voice. And they're still trying every which way to get anyone near me. And I'm not going to lie, that does bother me when they go after people who are near me, and they're still doing it. And people can say that they kicked me out because of the live stream. That's not true. That's just not true. They might not have liked it. The way live streams are allowed is when there is no television coverage. I didn't live stream anything that was competing with Peacock. By doing that, I was told when I had my media pass that you could do that on the sessions that were not televised, because that almost helps drive people to the televised program, but you don't want to directly compete with the program. So I have been in the habit of, when I'm at races and something's not televised, I will throw a live stream up and just get some shots of people around the turn with my phone. Nothing special. I'm not trying to compete with them or go for any copyright infringement. I just want to help build the sport, and it makes for some good content. And that's never been an issue. And if you check YouTube, during those first untimed session, there was quite a few other people going live also. It's a common thing that they've never had a problem with, but I understand they're so mad at me that they don't care. They want to get me any which way they can. I almost think they kicked me out and then found the live stream afterward and just used that as an excuse.
I'm walking my way out.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
You walk away. That's fine, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Are you seriously? Like, how come? I guess if I have a pass, I don't understand how.
Still private property, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're saying kicked out of the whole event?
Yeah, he's been asked to leave. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's been asked to leave.
Well, I'm riding with him, so I guess I gotta go too. That's why I'm asking.
Please follow us. We're going to escort you off the property per the management.
For the best. That's all it is.
Look at his saying.
Can I get a specific reason besides they just don't want me? So, am I not allowed to buy tickets and attend an event?
Correct.
And how like so?
That's something you'd have to take up with the management.
I don't know that they really knew about the live stream when they kicked me out. I think they just kicked me out because Carrie Joe, and it's funny, I do have somebody over at MX Sports. They think they're so loved. People that work for them despise them. That's why they tell me this stuff. Carrie Joe is the one that flipped her lid. Carrie Joe is the one that literally had me booted. And that's why they didn't just say, hey, can you go over the hill? Can you do something else? Or, hey, can you play along? They don't even want to talk to me. They want to scare me. They want police escorting me out. They want to intimidate me. But it's not going to work. Luckily, my channel's not built on grabbing live content. I talk about the races. I tell you about the races that's already produced on Peacock. And I'm more breaking down that type of stuff and telling you about the politics of the sport. I'm not really getting footage or looking for that cool shot or that cool angle. That's not what I do. So they can't control me. By banning me from the races, I can still do this job absolutely perfectly. I still have everyone's phone numbers and everyone still talks to me. I do hear, don't tell them that we talk, because other people don't want to get the wrath that I'm getting. And you'll see this week, they did have their meeting where they get with Racer X and some of the other media outlets, and they're going to, I don't know what the narrative will be, but they're going to come up with some sort of a narrative to spin what happened into somehow it's my fault and I did something wrong and I deserve to get kicked out. I just want you guys to pay attention. Watch all these different media outlets, from Pulp to Racer X to Vital. They're all going to run with the same couple key buzzwords, and they're going to spin this story.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
You walk away. That's fine, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Are you seriously? Like, how come? I guess if I have a pass, I don't understand how.
Still private property, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're saying kicked out of the whole event?
Yeah, it's been asked to leave. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been asked to leave.
Well, I'm riding with him, so I guess I gotta go too. That's
So
why
if
I'm
you'll
asking.
please follow us, we're going to escort you off the property per the management.
For the bench, that's all it is.
Follow us.
Somehow it's my fault that I got kicked out. I've already told you guys, I'll show you the video. What happened? They wouldn't even tell me why. MX Sports didn't even talk to me as I was walking out. They literally just had the cops escort me out. A lot of you guys were there as they walked me through the crowd. They're like, hey, Cooksy, where are you going? I'm like, I got kicked out. So I had to leave. And I don't fight the cops. It's not their job. They were actually really cool. They were embarrassed that they had to kick me out. They're like, yeah, we don't get it, but we're paid by these guys, so you have to go because it's private property. I'm like, whatever. Okay. I don't want to get tased and beat up by cops. I do what they ask. I respect the badge. It is what it is. And another thing that really, really pisses off the Coombs family is I do point out the fact that they stole the series. While not legal, they might have legally got it, but they really duped Bud Feldkamp in the NPG group to get the rights to this from the NPG. And they operate much like a franchise, but they do not follow franchise law. That's going to bite them in the ass. They will get it. They are 100% breaking the law in operating it like a franchise, but not being a franchise. And then they use the AMA. The AMA is these three little letters of a group in Ohio, just a regular group. You guys all have riding clubs in your areas. That's all the AMA was, but they had a catchy logo, red, white, and blue, and people accepted it as the national. Well, that doesn't really exist anymore. People send in those memberships. I got to ask you guys, has anyone seen any benefit from the AMA in the past 10 years? Have they done anything for you? Have they saved you when you were in trouble? Have they helped you when you were down? Has the AMA done anything to protect your local tracks? Have they done anything? I'm curious. If they have, I don't know about it. And I've been looking. And they're collecting upwards of $12 million a year in dues. And the AMA that's around the races, that is essentially MX Sports. And that's what Davey freaks out on. No, they're too different. No, because he wants to be able to go tell these teams who spend all this money, oh, that's the AMA. When in reality, it's like an illusion. Okay, that's the AMA. For a while, the AMA officials at MX Sports events, when you email them, you emailed in MX Sports, it's just a facade. They want to make it look like there's an outside sanctioning body overseeing what they do, when in reality, they're running roughshod and doing whatever they want, because they are both of those organizations. They don't want me telling you this, and they won't tell you this, and that's why Davey has got the Racer X, and he's got everyone in his pocket, and they've been cultivating this forever. And I don't know that I'm the first one to go against them, but I'm the first one that's really not backing down. And I'm not going to back down. And I'm going to keep telling things. And I'm okay with these things that they do. It's how they present them as lies and illusions and fakeness. Just tell us, okay, hey, we don't have a sanctioning body, but we have a division that we call the AMA, and we're going to try and keep them separate, and they're going to make some rules. But yeah, it's still the same organization. And hey, we do have enough money, but we have to meet a certain amount of profits before we'll pay for flaggers. But they're embarrassed. But they did bring out lights. Those lights at Budds Creek were awesome. It was easy for the riders to see as soon as they went on. They didn't jump. They weren't having to look for a flag. Yeah, it's shocking that it only took 10 years to just put some lights in the front there. Beautiful, worked perfectly. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the kind words. Do not shed a tear for me. I know what I'm getting into. People are like, oh, you made your bed, now sleep in it. You're whining. I'm not whining about it. Yeah, it sucked. I don't want to fly all the way to Budds Creek and not watch the race. That sucked. That totally sucked. I'm kind of pissed about it. And I will check. And I'm going to the SMX race here in Las Vegas. If I have to wear a disguise, they're not going to keep me from my sport. But this is my hometown, and I am not going to be as polite if they mess with me at SMX in Vegas. So just so they know, it's going to go a little differently this time. I'm not going to be as polite, but I will be at SMX. I am going to follow every rule. And if they kick me out, we're going to have some issues. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything, especially you members. You guys are the ones that are making it possible for me to take on these knuckleheads, because they've told pretty much every brand in this industry, do not touch Cooksy. He spreads lies. I challenge them. What lies? Tell me, what bull crap have I put out there? What have I fabricated? I had the contracts. I have all the stuff. Like, it's not made up. I'm just the only one that's bringing it to you because they're telling lies. So thanks, guys, and I'll catch you later.